Hey guys, I'm Doodler and today's video is going to be another talking video, and this particular talking video is going to be 10 struggles only artists or people that do art will understand or relate to. And without further ado, I am going to kickstart this commentary and begin the video. Number 1. Ink, paint and graphite will always get on your hands or on your clothes, no matter how you use your equipment or no matter how careful you are when using your equipment. And this is literally an inevitable thing that is going to happen to everyone that does art. So it's kind of a given fact that if you are doing art, expect at least some of your clothes or your hands being stained by ink, paint or graphite. Like, it's going to happen at some point if you are doing art, pretty much. Number 2, people don't seem to appreciate how much effort a piece of art is, and they may assume that it is easy doing what you do. Now, as you may or may not know, if you do a lot of art, even if you are doing just adult colouring or doodling, there is a lot of thought that goes into art and thinking about what colour you are going to use next or what type of equipment you are going to use for a particular piece. That's hard in itself because there are so many choices. But then when you actually put pen to paper, or whether you are doing something else that involves a creative process, actually doing the thing, so if you are an author writing, or if you're an artist drawing or painting, or a musician making music, actually doing the thing that you are doing, and actually doing the task itself, that is difficult. Especially if you have very little motivation or inspiration to actually do the thing. But yeah, art isn't always easy. Like, it really isn't. Number 3, symmetry in art. So, for example, if you were drawing a face right now and you have just finished drawing one of the most amazing eyes in the world or in the history of your art career, and you were very proud of that one eye, naturally you would normally expect the other eye of the face to be the same or very similar. However, that is often not the case when it comes to art. When you draw that second eye, it will always look different and it will be quite annoying, to say the least. And yeah, however, if you are doing digital art, that can be easily rectified because you can copy the eye that you drew beforehand and you can paste it and flip it or whatever. But for traditional artists, so artists that don't use digital means to create art, they don't have the option to undo or redo or copy and paste like you would expect to have with digital art. And that is why it is such a struggle, because you drew an eye and it was a really good eye, but you ended up messing up the other eye, and now it is not very symmetrical, and it is very annoying. Yeah. So that is why it is a struggle. Number 4. Now, number 4 kind of ties into number 1, but it is quite different. Clothing and art supplies. Now, no matter how careful you are when you are using your particular piece of art equipment, no matter how you use it as well, it will always go on your clothes. and when it gets on your clothes, you will either be able to get the stain out easily, which I think rarely ever happens, or it's pretty much there forever. And you'll have a pretty hard time trying to get rid of the stain on that particular piece of clothing, and it'll be quite annoying. Depending on the type of equipment you use as well, it might stay on for only a few days or a few weeks. So yeah, pretty much. Art at its finest. Number 5, ideas and inspiration. Now, don't get me wrong, they are pretty much the turning stone for any art project or whatever, or any particular piece, or not just art, but pretty much with anything. Ideas and inspiration are literally the beginning of everything. And they are really good, don't get me wrong, but they can come at any time, which kind of makes it easy to forget the ideas. If you have the idea or inspiration whilst you are at work, for example, and you are working, so you put it in the back of your mind thinking that you will remember it later on, but no, it will be forgotten. And you will forget that idea even existed, pretty much. And that is the drawback of ideas and inspiration. They can kind of come at the worst times when you haven't got a pen and paper, or whether or not it's just not the right time, full stop, to get an idea. It's just really bad timing if you get an idea at a bad time, pretty much. Number 6, the price of art supplies. Now, don't get me wrong, some art supplies can be relatively cheap, and they can be quite affordable. However, if you want to get art supplies, like if you want to get particular art supplies, they can cost quite a bit of money. Not only that, but if you need to get them from another country via Amazon or another online shopping website, the shipping fees will kind of make the price, make the total price go up of what you're buying. So that can be pretty not bad, but that can add to it as well, if that makes sense. Number 7, constantly doubting your skill and ability as an artist. Now, you may do this if you see another artist's piece of work, or if you have already done a piece of work that may not be to your standard. And both of these scenarios can feel pretty horrible, because you feel like you may feel like as though you are not good enough as an artist, or that you may not have enough talent to do a piece of art, or even do art full stop. But I can assure you that you have. I can assure you that you have the talent to do any type of art that you want. And I have actually made a video regarding this topic, which I will link in the description below. So if you want to learn more about this particular topic, go check that video. Okay, so number 8, I feel personally is one of the worst things to ever happen, and that is when you run out of paint or pen ink, or whether you have used up all of the graphite in your pencil whilst you are in the middle of an art project, or whether you are in the middle of a sketch or a huge massive piece. Like, when you run out of these things in the middle of a project, like, it is literally, in my personal experience, one of the worst feelings in the world, because you have literally used that specific marker or that particular type of paint for that piece, and once you have run out, you have run out. You cannot literally magic one out of thin air. Like, you just cannot simply magic one up immediately. So what you usually do is you either try to make do by using another colour paint, which kind of isn't the nicest feeling as well, because it's like compromising on your original plans for your piece. Or you can wait to finish the piece, and you can wait until you actually have that particular type of paint or marker or whatever in order to finish said piece. But yeah, it is always one of the worst feelings in the world when you run out of a particular piece of art supply whilst you are in the middle of doing art, pretty much. Now, number 9 is when you have literally no idea what to create next after you finish a piece of artwork or a project or whatever. And I know in my personal experience, I have had this feeling as well. When you finish a piece of art that you have done, and you have literally no idea what to do next in terms of art, then that is kind of annoying, because you know you want to do art and you want to continue doing art, but somehow you just don't know what to do, and you have no idea what type of thing you want to do, and then there's loads of other things that need to be taken into account, such as what type of equipment are you going to be using, or what type of paper are you going to be using, or is it going to be a portrait, is it going to be a landscape, or what type of art style are you doing it in? There are just so many things that you need to consider when you are doing a piece of art and when you are about to start a piece of art. And that is mainly one of the reasons why you are in like kind of an art slump once you have finished a piece of art, if that makes sense. But once you have an idea, then that is great. You can continue doing art and doing whatever you want. But it's when you are in between art projects, if that makes sense, that kind of gets pretty awkward, so to say. Like, I cannot really find the words to explain how it is, but it's kind of annoying, basically, when you literally have no idea what to paint or draw or whatever, basically. Now, last but not least is number 10, and that is tracing. And there is kind of, from what I've heard from my perspective, I've heard two sides to tracing. Some people like tracing because it's It's a very useful tool to help get the proportions correct and help add extra detail to a particular type of painting. But I know that some people might not want to do tracing because they might perceive it as copying, which is kind of technically what you're doing in a sense, but I don't know, I think it's the way that everyone kind of looks at tracing, which is why I've put it as my 10th struggle in this video, because there's kind of a lot of debate, I think, about tracing, whether or not it's something completely okay to do within art, or whether it's like copying something. Now, my opinion regarding tracing is that I think it's okay, for one, because there is no right or wrong way to do art, as I have said multiple times in my opinion. So I think as long as you're not blatantly like copying another person's piece of work and posting it or selling it as your own piece of work, and you're just using it to like help you create your own piece of work, then I think tracing is okay to do, personally, in my opinion. But with all of these 10 things said, these are the 10 struggles only artists or people who do art will understand. And if anyone wants me to do, if you guys want me to do like a part 2 to this, make sure to comment underneath the description below. But with all of this said, this is actually the end of the video, so thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, make sure to click that like button, and if you have any suggestions or requests as to what you want me to draw, doodle, paint, or talk about next, make sure to comment underneath the description below, as I appreciate every single one of your comments and I read them. I read every single one. And if you like what you see and you want to see more, make sure to click that subscribe button. And with all of this said, I will see you guys next Friday for another art video. Goodbye!